Okay. For Journal 2 of Week 2, the first questions are to describe my current study habits, why I should change them, and my ideal study environment. First of all, I try my best to listen to what the professor has to say, and I take in as much as I can during class. I take notes on a daily basis, even when we don't have to. That way I have everything on paper if it's not on my mind. I think I should study more often outside of class. It would just make my life easier. So far, it's only the second week, and I haven't had to study a whole lot for any tests or quizzes, but I'm sure that will change. Uh, I'm a very busy person outside of school. I work every weekend, so it's kind of hard to study, but I realize that I have to put in my all effort into it. My perfect study environment would be outside with not a lot of people. I get distracted really easily, so with a lot of people walking around, that would not be any good. Music, I can kind of handle. I love listening to music, all different kinds of music actually, but if I hear certain songs, I really like to sing to them, so that really distracts me in what I'm trying to do. My second question is what my worst presentation or speech was and what I would do differently. In high school, I was in a business class, and we had a project where we would show our classmates what each different job does. Our teacher came up with a bunch of different jobs, threw them in a cup, and we drew from it. We had partners. I picked out of the cup, and the job that I got was a CSI crime scene. So we were supposed to set up a crime scene, um, maybe have evidence, things like that. Well, I got sick and I had to go to the hospital, and I ended up getting my appendix taken out. So I was gone for 2 weeks. Whenever I came back, my partner had done nothing at all. She had, there was nothing done. So that was actually the night before the thing was due. So I went home and I did everything. I came up with a storyline. Um, I had different people, what they were doing that night, what they were doing the night before, what their connection was to the victim, and what really happened. Um, the next day, I stood up in front of the class and pretty much did the whole thing myself. I had printed out what I came up with and gave to all the students to figure out what really happened, and they did a pretty good job. They were really creative about things, so that turned out pretty good. I wish I would have been more prepared, and I think that's what every person should be. Um, preparedness is like a number one thing. You have to know what you're going to talk about, maybe have pretend questions and answers just so everything goes along perfect. I try to prepare myself for everything that I go into. That way it just turns out a lot better. The third question is if I had to be a pet, whose would I be and what would I be? I'd probably be my grandparents' dog. I'd My grandpa likes a golden retriever, so I'd probably be that. I would choose my grandparents because they take really good care of my dog while I'm gone. They're always listening to her, always spoiling her. They make sure she is up to date on her shots and flea and tick stuff. So that's probably whose pet I'd be and why. Alright, thank you.